The sun is setting over the forest. A warm light is shining through the trees. The insects in the grass and trees have had a busy day. Now, night is falling, and it's time for the insects to rest beneath the forest. Let's visit the insects and help them get ready for bed. Good evening, Mr. Grasshopper. Mr. Grasshopper can spread his wings and fly far away, but now it's time to settle down, fix your wings, and rest those big legs. Tomorrow, may your leaps be even stronger, and your flights take you to new places. Can you help put Mr. Grasshopper to bed and say goodnight? Good night, Mr. Grasshopper. Good evening, Ms. Shoe Beetle. Ms. Shoe Beetle rubs his wings together and chirps loudly. But now it's getting dark, so it's time to stop chirping and get some sleep. May the dawn bring you new sounds to explore and share with the world. Can you say goodnight to Ms. Shoe Beetle and wish her sweet dreams? Good night, Ms. Shoe Beetle. Good evening, Ms. Ladybug. Ms. Ladybug is a bright spotted beauty, spreading joy as she glides among the flowers. But now, it's time to fold her wings and nestle beneath a soft leaf. May tomorrow bring more blooms to land on and friends to meet. Help Ms. Ladybug get cozy and say goodnight. Good night, Ms. Ladybug. Good evening, Mr. Katydid. Mr. Katydid chirps beautifully to attract a mate. But now it's time to stop singing and dream of your honeymoon. May tomorrow bring a new chance to find your perfect companion. Snuggle up with Mr. Katydid and say goodnight to him. Good night, Mr. Katydid. Good evening, Mr. Praying Mantis. You've been busy all day trimming the grass with your sharp sides. You use those sides to catch your prey. But now it's time to rest those proud sides and go to sleep. May tomorrow bring more fruitful hunts and exciting discoveries. Say goodnight to Mr. Praying Mantis and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Praying Mantis. Good evening, Mr. Cricket. Mr. Field Cricket has such a lovely voice, and everyone enjoys listening to your chirps. But now, it's time for bed. May the coming day bring you new melodies to enchant the world. Can you help Mr. Cricket get cozy and say goodnight? Good night, Mr. Cricket. Good evening, Ms. Bell Cricket. Ms. Bell Cricket sings with a voice like a bell. You must be using that voice to find a good girlfriend. But now it's time to rest your body and go to sleep. May tomorrow be filled with joy and a beautiful song to serenade your special someone. Say goodnight to Ms. Bell Cricket and wish her sweet dreams. Good night, Ms. Bell Cricket. Good evening, Ms. Cicada. You sing on the tree though your time is short. Your wings blend in with the tree, so it's hard to spot you. But now it's getting dark, so it's time to stop singing and rest. May your next days be filled with life, warmth, and music. Say goodnight to Ms. Cicada and wish her a peaceful night. Good night, Ms. Cicada. Good evening, Mr. Firefly. Mr. Firefly lives near the water and glows brightly after sunset. When many fireflies light up and fly along the river, it looks like a river of fireworks. But now it's getting late, so it's time to stop glowing and go to sleep. May the next evening bring a sky full of twinkling lights, just like your glow. Can you help Mr. Firefly get comfortable and say goodnight? Good night, Mr. Firefly. Good evening, Ms. Honeybee. Ms. Honeybee gathers nectar from flower to flower. You collect that nectar and bring it back to the hive. But now it's time to rest your tired body. May tomorrow bring even more sweet nectar to gather and share. Say goodnight to Ms. Honeybee and wish her sweet dreams. Good night, Ms. Honeybee. Good evening, Mr. Hornet. Mr. Hornet is the king of bees. You fly proudly, showing off your sharp stinger. But now, it's time to clean that amazing stinger and dream pleasant dreams. May the morning bring new adventures and bold flights. Help Mr. Hornet settle down and say goodnight to him. Good night, Mr. Hornet. Good evening, Mr. Stag Beetle. You're the biggest of the stag beetle family, aren't you? You always work hard using your big antlers. But now, it's time to leave the tree sap and rest your hard-working body. May the next day bring plenty of sap and many challenges to conquer. Say goodnight to Mr. Stag Beetle and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Stag Beetle. Good evening, Mr. Sawtooth Stag Beetle. Mr. Sawtooth Stag Beetle has antlers that look like a saw, so cool. You use those saw-like antlers to cut trees and dig holes. But now, it's time to rest in the hollow you made in the tree. May tomorrow bring new places to explore and more tasks to tackle. Help Mr. Sawtooth Stag Beetle get cozy and wish him a peaceful night. Good night, Mr. Sawtooth Stag Beetle. Good evening, Mr. Rhinoceros Beetle. Mr. Rhinoceros Beetle uses his big horn to push away enemies and is very strong. You fly from tree to tree searching for sap, but now it's time to breathe deeply and rest your beautiful horn and wings. May your dreams be full of sweet sap and new heights to reach. Help Mr. Rhinoceros Beetle settle down and wish him a peaceful night. Good night, Mr. Rhinoceros Beetle. Good evening, Ms. Dragonfly. Ms. Dragonfly flew swiftly along the riverside. You lay your eggs in the river, where they hatch into nymphs that live underwater for a long time. But now, as an adult, it's time to rest your wings beneath the trees and sleep. May tomorrow's flight be even swifter and more graceful. Snuggle up with Ms. Dragonfly and wish him a peaceful night. Good night, Ms. Dragonfly. Good evening, Mr. Emperor Dragonfly. Mr. Emperor Dragonfly has beautiful colors and is quite popular. You fly gracefully with your splendid wings. But now, it's time to rest your wings in a quiet part of the forest and sleep. May your beautiful colors shine even brighter with the morning light. Say goodnight to Mr. Emperor Dragonfly and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Emperor Dragonfly. Good evening, Ms. Red Dragonfly. Ms. Red Dragonfly flies in a swarm. In the evening, many of your favorite insects are flying around. But now it's getting dark, so make sure you get some rest under the tree. May tomorrow bring more adventures with your fellow dragonflies. Say goodnight to Ms. Red Dragonfly and wish him a peaceful night. Good night, Ms. Red Dragonfly. Good evening, Mr. Swallowtail Butterfly. Mr. Swallowtail Butterfly flies gracefully through the flower fields with your beautiful wings. The sight of you fluttering slowly is so vivid. The flower fields are full of sweet nectar. But now it's time to stop gathering nectar and go to sleep. May the flowers bloom even more brightly for you tomorrow. Say goodnight to Mr. Swallowtail Butterfly and wish her sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Swallowtail Butterfly. Good evening, Ms. Cabbage White Butterfly. Ms. Cabbage White Butterfly flies over the cabbage fields with your white wings. There are many caterpillars of yours in the cabbage field, but now it's time to find a safe spot in the grass and rest. May the cabbage fields grow even more lush and welcoming. Snuggle up with Ms. Cabbage White Butterfly and wish her sweet dreams. Good night, Ms. Cabbage White Butterfly. Good evening, Mr. Black Swallowtail Butterfly. Mr. Black Swallowtail Butterfly swiftly flies between the flowers with your dark wings. You look vivid and cool when you flutter slowly. You fly fast even among other butterflies in the flower fields. But now, it's time to stop flying in the flower fields and go to sleep. May the flowers be even more fragrant and the skies even more open tomorrow. Say goodnight to Mr. Black Swallowtail Butterfly, won't you? Good night, Mr. Black Swallowtail Butterfly. Good night, insects of the forest. All the insects in the grass and trees are huddled together, peacefully sleeping under the starry sky. The wind and clouds drifting across the sky are singing a gentle lullaby. The trees and grass are dark and filled with the soft rustling of leaves. Now close your eyes and have wonderful dreams with your friends. Sweet dreams to the little children. Good night, insects of the grass and trees.